cabin. I've been away for a while. I've had 3 weeks off on a road trip, and the end of last year didn't end how I imagined. A situation came up and I just didn't have any time to get here at all. So I'm back. I'm really looking forward to starting on the kitchen build. I've been umming and ahhing about what am I going to do. Am I going to make a custom bespoke kitchen? But looking at this year, like a lot of you, I'm juggling all sorts of things in my life. And I am going to go ahead with a fairly basic kitchen install. It's going to be hopefully really attractive, really functional and cute, and have some personality to it. I went and bought some carcasses yesterday, and the cabin itself, it's held up really well since I've not been here. It feels fine. It's cold, but it's fine. I've got so many layers on. It was 17 degrees and amazing weather in Portugal, and I've got back and it's between 0 and -2 here most of the time. So yeah, it's a bit of a shock to the system, but it's a beautiful sunny day, so I'm going to get on and put my carcasses together, and yeah, let's see how we get on. And it's at that moment there that you realise you've done it wrong already. These blooming instructions. I'm not the first to have faffed it up, am I? Let's be honest. I'm far from the first. I've got to make some adjustments to this first unit because this is the cable that comes from the solar panels and goes into the back of the battery, and this is the plug that plugs into the battery that runs the cabin, so I've got to make some holes. So I've had to move this foot over. Now I need to make a hole in the bottom of the unit. Missed it totally. So last night I managed to get the worktop on. It was a bit of a mission, but it's cut to the right length. Just been umming and ahhing about the sink, where to put it, and I'm also going to have a gas hob, which I had thought to put here, which would allow me to have some cupboards. But in the shop they were really insisting that there's at least 70 centimetres between the top of a gas hob and the cupboard, which would mean the cupboard would need to be there. And not only is it too high, but I'm way too short to get in. So, I don't know, I'm thinking maybe I might put the gas hob here now and just not have any wall cupboards. Because also I think the more stuff I'm putting on the walls, the more the space feels smaller. Maybe just a couple of shallow shelves would be sufficient. And I really want to try and get the tap lined up centrally with the window. But that means the sink is going to be a little bit off to the side. I'm going to try and make it work, but I might find that I've ruined the worktop in the process. I don't know yet whether this is going to be strong enough once I've cut it really close to the end. So I'm really in the detail of it all, and most people will probably just rush ahead and get on and do it, and I just spend a lot of time procrastinating and thinking about all these things. But yeah, so far so good. I'm enjoying it. It's good. Et alors? actually quite exciting because looking at this in the shop and trying to think about the colour and how it's going to work in here, this is the first time I've actually got the real colour in the cabin. Yeah, it's going to be really nice. With the white and the worktop and the floor. Okay, good. I like it. That's good news. That's the good news. There's no bloody information on how do you know where to put the things. This is the joy. Or flat pack, isn't it, really? First one is always the worst one. I've only got about 18 screws that I've got to take out now. Wait.
Yeah, you can imagine it's quite a lot of work if you have to do an entire roof.
On the fence here, the owl, I made a video a couple of years ago now. There was an owl that was roosting, sitting here and using this as a hunting spot, and I think it's back. And I tried to put my wildlife camera out in order to try and see if it was in fact the owl, but it's broken, it's not working. So I've just come out here to sort of listen again and see if I could sort of work out if there's anything going on, and I don't know what it is, but something has just moved this direction in front of the cabin, and then it's come towards me again, but my eyes, where I've been inside, my eyes weren't accustomed to the dark. Now it's a little bit better and I can see a bit further. It's come in front and then it's gone up the side, and I'm just really curious to know what it is. I'm on the limit of weight capacity for these drawers, so I've put a whole load of extra screws in the brackets. I may need to add some ventilation to this. As it stands at this time of the year, it's fine because the cabin is not really warm enough for the battery to overheat when it's running. If it does get too hot, it just switches off, so it won't catch fire. I may need to add some ventilation either to the side or at the back. Underneath here, I've got the possibility of adding another one of these batteries. So basically this, you can get the same model again, only it doesn't have all the inverter in it. It's cheaper, so it's just an additional battery storage, and the two need to connect together. So I've checked and I can connect them with a cable, make a small hole in the drawer and have them together, have another drawer under here. In the summer, when it's hot and the cabin's hot, I don't think this is a good place to store it. It needs to be able to really ventilate continually, and it makes noise when it ventilates. So I'm going to be putting it underneath the cabin. I've built a space particularly to accommodate that. We'll pass the solar panel cable underneath the cabin and plug it in, and I can plug in underneath and it's still going to run all the cabin interior. Right now this has to be plugged in at the back. On this model, really annoyingly, they've put the on-off switch for the back, which runs all the plug sockets and ta-da, the cabin lighting. So I have to have this in a way that I can access the back at all times. So there we go, that was my solution, and do you know what, I'm really happy with it. That's worked out really well. I'm at that sort of tricky part where the initial energy and excitement about doing this project has worn off. I've got a load of little annoying jobs to finish. The fun is tempered. And the only way I've learnt to get through this, because in every single project there's always this moment where you're just like, and if you let yourself, you'll just walk away and never finish. So the only thing you can do is make a list. So I have my list. I have 8 things to do. Come early today. I've sort of taken a day out of my day-to-day life to try and get on and finish this. But I'm missing key things. I'm missing fixation between these 2 doors. I'm missing this. So it won't get finished today, but I'm really hopeful that I can crack on and get my energy going again. It's January, everyone is in a real mood. There's no energy, there's no yes. So let's try and get the yes going with this exciting list. Look at that. Fit a plug, change some bits, do the sink. I didn't know what these were for. Apparently you stick them and it means that your sink doesn't make as much noise when the water hits it. So overall, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I really like the colour, the contrast, and somehow, despite putting quite a significant amount of storage in here, the space actually feels a bit bigger. I think it's just because everything that was in a jumbled mess is now all tidied away. I wanted the kitchen to look more like a piece of furniture than a sort of proper kitchen. So for the tiles, I've chosen something very plain matte white so that you will hardly see it, but it's just going to protect the wall. The little shelf, I've just made it very quickly out of the leftover piece of worktop and some leftover wood that I had from the bathroom build. I'm planning to either put a fixed shelf or a couple of shelves, or maybe a small unit on the wall, but I haven't found the thing that I really think is perfect just yet. So I've just put this as a temporary measure to give me a bit of extra space. So just to quickly say, I've chosen not to put an oven, either a gas oven or an electric oven. Electric oven would be too complicated with the solar system. Gas oven, I have got an outdoor kitchen that I built that's really spacious and functional. So I've decided just to stick with having one oven here at the cabin. And this is just made so that you can heat a drink or you can make a simple meal. And if you want to cook something, then you have to pop outside. Same for the fridge. My solar system is relatively small, and if you wanted to put a fridge inside, particularly in the winter when there's not much sun, you're putting your fridge, which uses your solar battery, empties solar battery quite quickly, in a space that's being heated. It just doesn't make any sense at all. It's much better, in my opinion, to have a small fridge outside, and then it basically is hardly turning at all in the winter. So that's why I haven't put a fridge, and that's why I haven't put a gas oven, because I have also got those things directly outside my door, and it's a personal choice as well. It's not something that's going to be a big problem. If you were living here full time and you found that it was a problem not to have a fridge, you could either put a small, like a plug-in ice box, which you find often in camping cars. There's several places where you could plug that in under here, or you could have something on the terrace, for example, that would relieve that feeling of having to go outside, particularly late at night. So that was my decision, and I just rather would have had more storage, which is a really problematic thing in the cabin. To have more storage is a massive bonus, and I'm willing to make that compromise. When you're working in a small space like this, you have to make compromises. One of the other compromises I made was putting this on this side, which is a bit close to the sink, and I admit that, but it does then allow me to have more storage on the walls, and it does give me a really nice section of worktop here. That is just how small space design is. So yeah, let me know what you think. What would you put on the wall? Would you put anything, or would you just leave it like that, put a shelf? How would you have planned it? I hope it's given you some ideas, and I'd just be really interested to hear from you and know about your projects. Maybe you're thinking about redoing your kitchen, maybe you've got a cabin build going on, or maybe you live in a studio flat and you're struggling with space. Share with me your projects and your ideas and things you'd like to do, because I really enjoy hearing from all of you. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. And what is next? Next is I have yet to install a log burner in here. I've got a really beautiful log burner, the second-hand one that I'm restoring, and that needs to go into the cabin. And then I'm also going to be building a dressing area, like a big storage area in the bedroom, which I'm hoping to start maybe next week. So I expect my next video will be in about a month's time, and I really hope that you're enjoying this journey with me. And I look forward to seeing you again, and hopefully in a month's time we'll start to feel a bit more like spring is here, end of February, and I'd love to share some of the outdoors with you here as well, the beautiful area in the Morvan Nature Park in France. Have a good week, and I'll see you soon.